Okay, think about this. A master violin maker, a luthier. Before they even think about putting the pieces together, they spend years, sometimes decades, just preparing the wood.
Mm-hmm. Letting it age, settle, finding that perfect piece of spruce.
Exactly. Allowing all those piney tensions inside the wood to just relax. Because they know deep down that the final sound, that amazing resonance,
It's not made in that final frantic gluing stage, is it?
no, it's baked in during that slow, careful foundational work.
And that's the core idea P.G. Sebastian explores in The Architect and the Altar.
Mhm.
He says, basically, that if you start carving too soon, if you mistake that heady rush of passion for actual solid readiness,
You don't get a concert violin.
no, you get, and this is his phrase, a beautifully shaped wooden box incapable of song.
Wow. And that right there feels like the heart of the problem in modern love, doesn't it? This unspoken crisis.
Yeah, we're obsessed with the look of the finished thing, the wedding photos, the status.
The cathedral, as he puts it. But we've kind of forgotten about the quarrying, the heavy lifting, the actual cost accounting needed to make sure the foundation holds.
Exactly. Welcome, everyone, to The Deep Dive. And this is actually the first part of our new miniseries, Counting the Cost.
The whole series really hinges on that ancient wisdom, figuring out the cost before you start building the tower from Luke 14.
Precisely. So today we're digging into P.G. Sebastian's insights on what he calls foundational readiness. And crucially, the lifestyle trade-offs that marriage demands, the ones we often don't talk about.
So if you're thinking about marriage, or maybe even struggling a bit with the reality of it, this should give you some real clarity.
And that's what this deep dive is all about. It's our service, part of the Steps to Forever ecosystem designed to bring that clarity. Because the culture offers excitement, but
But forever should be built with clarity. That's the whole ethos, isn't it?
it is.
Okay, so let's unpack this main psychological hurdle PG identifies. He calls it romantic exceptionalism.
Mm-hmm. It's a powerful bias.
It really is. This seductive idea that because our connection feels so special, so unique.
We're somehow exempt from the normal rules, the laws of relational physics, you could say.
Yeah. Like love is this magic potion that just dissolves all the practical problems.
And PG points out there are two specific cognitive biases propping this up.
Okay, what are they?
Well, first, there's the classic optimism bias.
The it won't happen to us syndrome, bad things, breakups, resentment. That's for other couples. Less enlightened ones, maybe?
Right. But then there's the sneakier one, present bias.
Okay, explain that.
Present bias makes us massively overvalue immediate rewards. The thrill of the engagement, the big wedding day, the social validation.
While totally discounting the long-term, often unglamorous work needed for a relationship to actually last decades.
Precisely. We downplay the future costs and efforts.
It's like, think about the money. People will drop tens of thousands on a single day at the wedding, but then hesitate to spend a few hundred on premarital counseling or getting real financial advice together.
It's kind of emotional mortgage, isn't it? PG uses that analogy, like taking out a huge loan with a really low introductory rate.
And just completely ignoring the giant balloon payment of real-life compromise waiting down the road.
Mm-hmm. And this short-sightedness, PG suggests, ties into how marriage itself has changed.
How so?
Historically, it was more institutional, pragmatic, about stability, economics, family lines, shared work.
Right. Less about personal happiness, maybe.
Well, yeah. Then it shifted, especially over the last century or so, towards the companionate model, focused almost entirely on personal fulfillment, finding your soulmate.
But hang on, is PG saying the old way was better? Because surely aiming for fulfillment for a deep connection, that elevates marriage, doesn't it?
That's a really fair challenge.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think he's arguing against fulfillment itself. It's more about the weight we've now placed on that one role, the spouse.
Okay.
By making it all about personal fulfillment, we've accidentally created like an impossible job description.
Right. We don't just want a partner. We want, what does he list? Best friend, intellectual equal, passionate lover, therapist, co-parent.
Primary source of existential validation. It's everything.
We've basically crammed every human need into this one relationship, onto this one person.
And that immense pressure gets amplified by our consumer culture, which has sort of commodified romance.
You mean all the curated Instagram feeds, the wedding blogs, the perfect couple narratives?
Exactly, the highlight reels.
Yeah.
It fosters what PG calls a spectator's mentality.
A spectator's mentality. How does that work?
We shop for the perfect partner, like buying a product, and then we expect the marriage product to perform flawlessly.
So we end up judging our partner's performance.
It's again seeing it as a joint project, something you build together, messily, day by day.
It sells the beautiful destination, but kind of hides the map and the cost of the actual journey.
Which brings us squarely to itemizing those often uncounted costs, the real trade-offs. Where should we start? Maybe with time.
Yeah, let's start there. PG calls time our most non-renewable resource, and it changes fundamentally in marriage.
How so?
Before you're married, your time is basically yours. Sovereign territory, he says. You decide how to spend it.
Right, you're the boss.
After marriage, it instantly becomes a shared commons. It needs negotiation, joint planning, that spontaneous late night at work, or diving into a new weekend hobby.
It has implications. There's a kind of relational tax on it now.
That's the key, isn't it? It's not just the huge life decisions. It's the everyday reality that creating a we constantly requires taking time from the me.
And this flows right into the career trajectory cost. This one hits hard for many couples.
Yeah, PG talks about the clash between that modern ideal to ambitious, soaring careers.
And the practical logistics of life, especially once kids arrive, but even before.
Yeah.
Someone's got to manage that shared commons.
And realistically, one career often has to become more flexible, more elastic, as he puts it.
And historically, and let's be honest, still predominantly.
That tends to be the woman's career.
Yeah. And PG stresses that these trade-offs, maybe turning down a promotion or putting an entrepreneurial dream on hold, they aren't failures. They can be investments in the we.
But, and this is the crucial part, if they become silent sacrifices.
Ooh, yeah. Unspoken, unacknowledged.
They fester, they build up this huge debt of resentment that can absolutely poison the relationship later because they weren't named, valued, maybe even negotiated.
That's a perfect bridge to the next cost, which is maybe even more subtle. The erosion of pure, simple autonomy.
You mean just the freedom to decide things on your own?
Exactly. The daily, sometimes grinding loss of the right to make unilateral decisions. We're talking small things even.
Like the thermostat wars.
Yeah, or spending a chunk of money without checking in first.
Yeah.
Or even dreaming about moving across the country just on a whim. Those things change.
I think that's the real shock for many people. We think we're arguing about, I don't know, leaving socks on the floor.
But PG's point is that the fight often has layers. It might really be about that slow drain of personal choice, that feeling of lost control.
So connecting this back, PG makes a really interesting point, almost a paradox.
What's that?
He says that the more successful, the more self-sufficient someone is before marriage, the harder the initial adjustment can actually be.
Really? Why?
Because they have more established habits, more efficient personal systems, maybe a stronger identity built around making their own decisions. They have more autonomy infrastructure to dismantle and rebuild together.
Wow. So the very things that make them capable and attractive?
Can also make the merging process more challenging. Their freedom has a higher price tag, emotionally speaking.
That makes sense.
And looking beneath all this is something PG calls the haunting landscape of opportunity cost. Meaning the paths not taken, the lives not lived. He argues that a healthy marriage actually requires you to consciously acknowledge and even grieve those phantom lives.
Phantom lives, like the city you didn't move to, the other person you didn't choose, the career you stepped back from.
Exactly. You have to sort of mourn them, acknowledge what was given up, and then actively choose the reality you have. How do you even do that? Most people just try to ignore those what-ifs.
PG suggests it involves actually talking about it, naming the sacrifice, recognizing its value, and then consciously recommitting to the present choice over that ghost, if you don't.
Those what-ifs become corrosive, right? Poisoning the good thing you're trying to build.
Precisely.
Okay, this feels like a really important moment for anyone listening. If you find yourself constantly irritated, maybe arguing about small surface-level stuff, the dishes, who's late?
PG urges you to look underneath. Is it really about the dishes? Or is it tapping into that deeper ache, that phantom pain of lost autonomy? Or maybe a feeling that the sacrifices aren't being shared fairly?
Because the real danger, he says, isn't usually some big dramatic explosion. It's a slow, creeping insolvency.
Yeah, that slow fade. From vibrant connection to just functional, muted.
So what's the way out? How do we avoid that?
It requires a deliberate shift, away from just pure romantic idealism towards what PG calls a pragmatic, clear-eyed form of relational stewardship.
Stewardship, like managing something valuable.
Exactly. The core question changes. It's less, are we madly in love? And more, okay, what exactly are we trying to build here, and what specific costs are we each prepared to pay?
Right. Becoming a better architect of the relationship. And PG lays out 3 really concrete foundational steps for this, starting before things get serious.
Yes. Step 1, the personal blueprint.
Okay, what is that?
It's basically a document of serious self-awareness, something you draft before you're deeply entangled with a partner.
Like journaling.
More structured, an honest inventory, your financial habits and history, your real non-negotiables, how you act under stress, your attachment patterns.
Why is that so crucial?
Because it helps you figure out the difference between the load-bearing walls of your identity, the core stuff that really can't change without causing major damage, and the decorative partitions, the things that are more flexible that you can change or remove for the sake of the we, knowing yourself first.
Got it. So once you have that self-awareness, what's next?
Step 2, transition from just dating to having what PG calls foundational summits.
Summits. Sounds serious.
They are. These are structured, intentional talks that go way beyond just casual chats about the future.
So not just, where do you see us in 5 years, over dinner?
No, think more like bringing spreadsheets. PG insists couples need brutally honest conversations about specific, tough topics.
Like what?
Full financial histories, debts, assets, spending habits, the works, not just current balances, then literally overlaying your individual 10-year career plans.
To see where the potential conflicts are down the road.
Exactly. To spot them 5, 10 years out and plan now. And maybe the toughest one, brutally honest lifestyle expectations.
Uh-oh. Like, who cleans the bathroom?
Yes. How will chores actually get divided on a random Tuesday night when you're both exhausted and grumpy? The goal isn't necessarily to agree on everything right then.
It's to discover the size of the disagreements, right? And see if you can navigate them respectfully before you're legally bound and under pressure.
Precisely. Which leads perfectly into the third step, proactive trade-off budgeting.
Okay, this sounds powerful. Budgeting trade-offs.
Yeah, this might be the most practical tool PG offers. It's about explicitly linking a sacrifice made by one person, or both, to a specific shared benefit.
How does that strip resentment of its power?
Because you make the implicit, often silent sacrifices of marriage explicit and strategic.
Can you give PG's example? Make it concrete.
Sure. So instead of one person just quietly putting their grad school dream on hold, you have direct conversation. Like, okay, we've decided together to invest in your graduate degree for the next 3 years.
Right.
This means, practically, we'll need to forego international trips and cut our eating out budget by, say, 60% during that time.
Okay, naming the cost.
But the agreed-upon trade-off, the benefit we're aiming for, is that this degree is projected to boost our joint income by X amount, which should let us reach our shared goal of buying a house 2 years sooner.
I see. You name the sacrifice, you quantify the cost, and you explicitly link it to a shared desired outcome.
Exactly. The sacrifice is transformed. It's not a personal loss anymore. It's a deliberate, negotiated investment in the we. Resentment struggles to take root when it was all discussed openly beforehand.
That's incredibly practical. Yeah. But building this strong foundation isn't just about negotiating the we, is it? PG also talks about protecting the me.
Absolutely. He insists on the importance of protecting what he calls a Sabbath of self.
A Sabbath of self.
Yeah. Basically carving out sacred, untouchable time for each partner to pursue their own individual interests, passions, friendships, just to recharge their own batteries, maintain their own identity.
Why is that so vital? Isn't marriage about merging?
PG argues the goal isn't a complete codependent merger where you lose yourself. It's interdependence. You need space to be yourself so you can bring renewed energy, perspective, and generosity back to the relationship. Otherwise, the we can feel suffocating.
So it's about finding that balance between connection and autonomy.
Which brings us to the ultimate reframing PG suggests for marriage.
Okay, what's the big philosophical shift?
It's about fundamentally changing our perspective. Stop seeing marriage primarily as the place you go to get your needs met.
And start seeing it as the place you go to give. To practice generosity, patience, forgiveness.
He calls it a workshop for character, a training ground.
That completely flips the script on the consumer mindset we talked about earlier.
It does. It shifts the focus from what am I getting to what can I contribute and how can this partnership help both of us grow.
Let's circle back to the luthier metaphor at the end.
Right. The luthier doesn't weep over the wood shavings on the workshop floor.
No. They understand that the original block of wood has to be diminished, shaped, carved away.
For the violin, the music to emerge.
Yeah.
The cost is necessary. It's high, yes. But PG's point is that willingly paying that cost is what earns you the right, in a way, to build something capable of that beautiful, lasting resonance. A lifetime of music together.
That really lands powerfully. It's about understanding the necessary shaping involved.
The cost is the creation.
Wow. Okay, that's a perfect thought to reflect on. If this conversation sparked something for you, definitely explore more of PG Sebastian's work. You can find his writing on his Substack blog. It's called Steps to Forever, same as the ecosystem.
Or check out his counseling website blog at pgsebastian.com/Ferio blog. Lots of deep dives there, too.
And seriously, thank you for tuning in, for making us your companion while you drive or work or wherever you listen.
We genuinely appreciate you letting these ideas into your day.
Please do subscribe and maybe turn on those notifications. That way you won't miss the next part of our Counting the Cost mini-series. We're tackling financial architecture next time. That'll be a big one.
It will. And honestly, keeping these insights to yourself, it's almost callous, right? Share the gold.
Spread the clarity, because forever should be built with clarity.